feast for darkness. Jonah's mouth watered as he eyed the enormous roast pig, golden brown and glistening, that took center stage on the massive dining room table. It was surrounded by every delicious food imaginable: juicy hams, buttery mashed potatoes, rich gravy, warm biscuits, and pies overflowing with fruit. The intoxicating aroma made Jonah dizzy with hunger. "Shall we?" his wife Beverly purred, flashing him a wicked grin. He nodded eagerly. This was a feast weeks in the making. Jonah carved thick slices of tender pork while Beverly ladled piles of food onto their plates. As soon as their plates were heaping, they descended on the feast ravenously. Jonah ripped meat from the bone with his teeth, grease dripping down his chin. Beverly shoveled spoonfuls of potatoes into her mouth and slurped gravy from her plate. Their eyes rolled back in ecstasy with each bite. This was gluttony at its finest. All thoughts of moderation or restraint were banished from their minds. More was all they craved. As they gorged themselves, grease-stained hands grabbing for more, the doorbell rang. Jonah and Beverly froze, mouths stuffed, and exchanged a look of dread. They were supposed to fast today with the rest of the neighborhood as part of an ancient ritual. The doorbell sounded again, more insistent this time. Jonah crept to the window and peeked out at their driveway. "It's the neighborhood council," he hissed. Beverly paled. They were caught red-handed. The stern face of Councilman Barrow stared back through the window. With a gulp, Jonah opened the front door. "Councilman, what a surprise," he began, forcing a smile. Barrow's face was like stone as he surveyed Jonah's grease-splattered shirt. "I'm doing a spot check to make sure everyone is abiding by the fast," he said gruffly, then pushed past Jonah into the house. Jonah scrambled after him, stomach sinking. The damning evidence lay spread out on the dining room table. Councilman Barrow took it all in silently: the barely touched roast pig, the gravy spilled carelessly on the white tablecloth. Finally he turned to Jonah, eyes blazing. "How could you break the sacred fast?" The disgust in his voice made Jonah shrink back. "You know what's at stake tonight. The beast must be appeased." Beverly cowered in the corner, wiping grease from her lips. "We didn't think one meal would matter," she whimpered. Jonah nodded weakly in agreement. Barrow slammed his fist on the table, making the china rattle. "Fools!" he thundered. "Your gluttony will doom us all. The beast will smell your full bellies and know we broke our covenant." His face twisted in revulsion. "May God have mercy on you." He turned sharply and left, letting the door slam behind him. Jonah and Beverly collapsed in each other's arms. "What have we done?" Beverly wailed. They had been weak, and now the village would pay the price. Night fell, and distant howls rang through the hills. The village held its breath, every soul locked inside their darkened home as they waited for the creature to appear. Jonah and Beverly huddled together, shuddering at every howl that drew nearer. Guilt gnawed inside them. They strained their ears for the dreaded sounds of slaughter, bone-crunching, screams of terror, pleas for mercy. But as midnight came and went, the creature never arrived in the village. The howls faded back into the hills as quickly as they came. Jonah and Beverly clung to each other, weeping with relief as dawn's light peeked through the windows. Perhaps their transgression had not been discovered. Feeling the first rays of hope, Jonah stepped outside to see if the village had been spared. His scream made Beverly's blood turn to ice. She rushed outside, and saw a sea of carnage awaiting her. Mutilated bodies littered the streets, limbs ripped savagely from torsos, faces frozen in agony and terror. Barrow lay nearest their home, his accusing eyes staring up at them. The creature had feasted after all. Ravenous from months of famine, it had gorged itself on the helpless villagers, leaving only scattered bones and red stains in the dirt. Beverly fell to her knees with an anguished wail, clutching her husband. They had brought this horror upon the village. If only they had fasted as commanded, perhaps this would have been avoided. At the end of the blood-soaked street, a hulking shadow peered at them, eyes flashing. It pawed the ground and snorted, catching the scent of its next meal. Jonah and Beverly clutched each other tightly as death bore down on them, teeth dripping red. Their screams echoed through the village one last time before the creature silenced them forever.